But the officer that we talked to earlier today, he says that's simply not an option.
We heard about it last night from Maggie Lewis inside here where City County Council meets.
Now, obviously, it's going to take time to rebuild and recover, but they are making a lot of progress cleaning up.
That example and this example you see here behind me, a car stranded, are just two of many of people underestimating the power of this storm.
The Pacers do have the best record in the NBA. You guys know, I think Dorothy said it best when she said there's no place like home.
She's joining us now with IMPD's efforts to find these two men responsible.
You know, they say in addition to those drivers, they're really asking for information from anyone.
This is a secondary street. While it's still clear of any snow, photographer DeAndre Taylor can show us, we've got still a layer of slush here.
Not everyone can get back inside. There is still some water in some of the homes, but one home we surveyed, all you could see were muddy floors, ruined carpets.
IMS and NASCAR really had their work cut out for them to get the track ready to start the race on time.
Police say the suspect is stealing cash registers and usually tossing the evidence along I-65.
You can maybe make out behind me, the roads are pretty dry, but earlier that certainly wasn't the case.
Only one more day remaining of training camp here.
There's a work to be done. There's a race to be run.
The face and voice of Mama Slack fills Southern Kitchen,
Stand up and be strong.
a soul food restaurant off 96th Street.
We started this restaurant with her in mind, her love of cooking, her love of family.
She says John Markham put it all in jeopardy.
John got my pension and my 401k. And with everything else we did, it was over $100,000.
The SEC has accused Markham of running a $6 million Ponzi scheme that tricked investors out of their retirement. He used the money to invest in Southern Kitchen and U.S. Bounty Hunters reality show. Or did he?
We film all over the country, and we're bounty hunters from all over the U.S.
The SEC says Deborah, Fred, and Denise are among 37 victims.
We all lost a lot of money on this deal. I understand why he's on the run, not just from us.
The bounty hunters and Southern Kitchen say money that was invested in reality was their own.
He was just recycling our money back to us, making it look like they were investing in us.
Markham promised double-digit returns. When investors pressured for proof or money, the SEC says he provided fake documents, including monthly statements showing their earnings.
I was getting the monthly showing that my money was in there, but it really wasn't. It wasn't in there at all.
Did you deceive all of those people?
A simple yes or no question brings a long pause.
For exterminators like Dan Miles,
this here
is lightning in a bottle. It's called fipronil, better known by its brand name of Termidor, and its arrival on the market was a game changer.
They take it back to wherever their nest is, and they spread it to more than just that one insect. So that's why it's so effective.
Here's the catch. It's strong, really strong, so it has to be diluted, and it comes with a long list of restrictions backed by federal law, including this one.
Must not be applied to indoor surfaces for the purposes of general pest control.
There's a good reason why the Environmental Protection Agency lists fipronil as a potential human carcinogen. It could cause cancer.
This could be bad news.
It's not good because it can be absorbed into your skin.
This is where it's approved to be used, outdoors, away from humans and pets. And until recently, that's exactly what the state assumed was happening. But last year, regulators began getting tips from whistleblowers, like Miles, who immediately knew.
They're doing something that's totally illegal.
Because the bugs had disappeared. So investigators began gathering samples across the state. Restaurants and retirement homes, churches and clinics, hotels and even grocery stores. From Mooresville to Muncie, Beech Grove to Bloomington, the inside of almost every one tested positive for fipronil. For state regulators, it was a major red flag.
Lisa Risley is on a mission. And not even a bum wheel is going to slow her down from taking on the winter blast.
I'm looking for ice melt, bags of sand to put in the back of my Camaro, some ice scrapers, try and get color coded so we know whose is who.
Those are just a few of the things on her list of must-haves for the impending snowstorm.
You have your back saver shovels, you have your scoop shovels, you have your push shovels.
And she came to the right place to get ready.
We try to do our best to be prepared before the storm comes, so to have everything already on the shelf and ready to go. Snow throwers being one of the big things that go quickly. Power generators, end ice or salt, sand for traction.
Are those 50?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll take 3.
But a cart full of tools to battle the elements isn't all she needs to make it through this weekend.
And then I have to go get milk and bread.
Canned goods and snacks and milk. You always see that at the grocery stores, milks are gone quick, and that happens here as well.
Thankfully, Risley made it in before the milk rush.
Okay, Pop-Tarts and milk. I'm good.
For this weekend?
That'll do me for a couple days.
You can never run out of milk, especially if you have little ones. I think it would be detrimental to your preparedness if you don't have milk.
Milk or no milk, manager Ron Gilliland says Hoosiers can be counted on to handle Mother Nature's worst.
I think overall everybody does a good job of being prepared. It's just sometimes you need to replace what you currently have.
All right, have a good day. Thank you, you too.
It's been a remarkable run that appears to only have one end in sight.
These are guys that are the real deal.
The Tech Titans clinched the sectionals, the regionals, and are just one win away from state. In the midst of the cheering green crowds, there's been Hollywood star Mike Epps, who's been tweeting away about history making Tech. Then there's former IU star and Tech alum Landon Turner, who has been sitting courtside at the games.
I got my semifinal tickets.
And as hard as his team works on the hardwood, they work just as hard in the classroom. They have a collective GPA of 3.2.
We know that basketball is not the only thing that we have to focus on.
That's leading scorer Trey Lyles, who just happens to carry
3.8.
And shooting guard Jeremy Tyler boasts a
3.2.
And small forward Mike Jones.
My ACT score is a 29.
Which is currently the highest ACT score in the school.
That's our first priority, is be a student first and then be an athlete.
But come this Saturday, it's all about the hoops. And as this New York Times article pointed out, without a college team in the NCAA tournament, this team may be the Hoosier story to root for.
They understand that this is the last chance that they have to win a state championship.
And even this former Tech student turned reporter is rooting them on as well.
We've been waiting for this moment for 4 years.
This was an accident seen last weekend?
Yes.
A deadly crash in Greenfield just days ago, investigated by police using their newest tool.
I was skeptical when we got it, thinking it'll never work.
But after its first test, the chief investigator says not only did it work,
it's a tremendous help for me.
A $600 remote-controlled drone and $400 camera attached to the bottom. Instead of using a fire truck ladder to take aerial pictures of this deadly crash, which officers say can take time and resources, stopping traffic for hours, the drone was up and down with video in 5 minutes.
We had a lot of tire marks all over the roadway, and by getting up above those tire marks and looking down on them, it helps me draw out all those marks, make sure I've got it right.
It has pretty good range. It can go about 300 meters up in the sky, and police say while it will usually be used for crash scene investigations, that's not all.
The fire department has already asked us to videotape fire scenes for them. We can go up and see where the fire's actually at.
This week, they were also called to help find a child who'd run into a cornfield, and the chief says they can use it for emergency situations like standoffs, too.
We may send this over to see where they're at, especially if they've got a gun. I mean, I don't want to see this get shot out of the air, but I would rather have that than an officer shot.
Not bad, police say, for an officer's crazy idea.
Had it not worked, I'd had some explaining to do, but it's worked out perfect so far.